Nick Riewoldt just fresh off the plane back from New Zealand. Nick, disappointing result for you guys. I think you've had, 3 of your 4 losses have been under 17 points so far.
Yeah, it is disappointing, BT. They're the sort of games, obviously, that come the end of the year really shape your season and shape where you're going to finish. So we've been on the wrong side of a few of those results already this year, and hopefully we can turn it around in the not too distant future.
Rui, tell us what it was like over there. What was the crowd like? What was the ground like? What was the feeling like playing a game overseas for premiership points?
It didn't really feel like we were overseas at all, to be honest. All the people over there really embraced it, and it just felt like a football town. All the locals were really excited about the game. Obviously, not having seen much of it before, they were just eager to get out, and there was a bit of that curiosity factor, I suppose, from them. So they got right behind it, and clearly a lot of St Kilda and Sydney supporters made the journey across, and they made the atmosphere within the actual ground really electric. I think it's about a 30,000 seat stadium, and we had 23 there last night. So the atmosphere for the actual game was wonderful.
Keen to do it again from a St Kilda point of view?
Yeah, definitely. From a club and player point of view, we really enjoyed the opportunity not only to play in a foreign country, but to play on Anzac Day as well. I think if we were able to really hammer that down and make that a permanent fixture for us on Anzac Day, everyone would be really keen to do so.
Nick, what about the surface of the ground and the size of the ground and the conditions? Was it adequate enough for a game of AFL football?
Yeah, it was, Lloydie. It was pretty good. It was small. It was a really small ground. So it was, I think, lengthwise about the same, maybe a metre shorter than the SCG, but a lot more narrow. So there wasn't much room out on the wings or in the pocket. So it was a small ground, which you probably pick up the SCG and plonk it right over there for the Swans, which was nice for them. But it was good. The surface was beautiful. We trained on it the night before, and it was just perfect conditions. But we had a bit of rain during the day, and it didn't really clear, and that made for a pretty slippery sort of contest come game time. But no, it was really good.
Nick, of the sides that didn't make the 8 last year, you were clearly the most competitive, given you lost a number of games by not big margins. This year, Linger just said 17 points in 3 games. It's got a frightening similarity to last year about it.
Yeah, look, I think it does. I mean, it's obviously early days still, but we're desperate. We're desperate to win some games of footy. I think there's a lot of encouraging things to take out of last night and the start of the season. Obviously, when you look outside of results, and that's we've I think played about 35 or 36 players already so far this season, which is clearly the most in the league. We've debuted a number of players, and they haven't looked out of place at all on what was a pretty big stage last night. So there are some positives to draw out of it, but bottom line is we've just got to start winning some games of footy.
Nick, your coach Scott Watters spoke of his disappointment in Stevie Milne and missing a week through suspension. As captain, do you speak to Milne after an incident like that?
Players like Milne, you do, but you don't really need to, because he was obviously incredibly disappointed to miss what was a huge momentous occasion for not just a football club, but for the history of football in general. So he was really disappointed not to be over there, especially playing on Anzac Day. And he would have gone a long way to helping us win the game last night. So you don't really need to say much more than that.
And Rui, your own form, just an incredible game from you. I know you would have much preferred to have won the game, but a huge game, plenty of stats, 27 touches, a lot of marks, 13 grabs, kicked 2 goals. Obviously the body's feeling great at the moment, and you're running on top of the ground well and truly. Yeah,
probably looks can be deceiving a little bit. The 5-day break really tested me personally. Haven't experienced playing on that shorter turnaround before, so we'll really use the 8-day and then into a 10-day break the next 2 weeks to make sure we recover well. And but that being said, you play off 3 days to play on Anzac Day, so we're really fortunate to be able to do that yesterday.
You've had a knee. A degenerative knee for a couple of years now, Nick. Long term, you're thinking ahead of this year?
Yeah, I'm contracted next year, so that's the aim to get through this season and to play next year. And I can't really afford to look too much beyond that. But it's something that I've got to manage and will continue to manage, and probably won't won't be out of the realms of possibilities that I might miss a couple of games during the year just to make sure that we manage it correctly.
Well, Nick, we know you're a star in your own right, but tomorrow you're going to be sitting alongside a guy that's got a statue.
Yeah, I'm quite nervous about that. But I've done a bit of work with Lee under the Channel 7 banner, so,
right.
And I've found that really enjoyable, and he's great to work with. But yeah, it's I'm looking forward to it, guys. Joining the team for the day. So hopefully I don't make a fool of myself.
3AW football tomorrow at Carlton and Adelaide. Nick Riewoldt will be joining Lee Matthews in special comments. Lloydie.
Nick, and I know he's your good mate, Brendan Goddard. But what was your take on the? I'm not sure if you've been asked this just yet publicly, but the emotions that poured out of him after the St Kilda game last week.
Yeah, I wasn't actually aware of it until the next day. I mean, people told me what had happened and tried to describe it to me. But yeah, it was really interesting, wasn't it? I think clearly that's the sign of a guy that invested a lot into a group of people and into an organisation and was really torn when it came his decision to leave. I think he spoke about that publicly and made that pretty clear that it was a really hard decision for him. I think that was, just the emotion of that spilling out on the night.
You're very close friends with Brendan Goddard. During the time he had to make that decision, which I guess has been the toughest in his sporting career, did he confide in you at any stage?
Yeah, we spoke about it along the journey and spoke about some of the pros and cons, but at the end of the day, I think a decision like that just weighs so heavily on you and impacts so much on your life, it's really your decision. And all I could do was be a mate and be a teammate. Clearly, from a purely selfish point of view, I wanted him to stay at St Kilda, and I told him that. But at the end of the day, our friendship, I suppose, transcends football, and I'll let him know that. And whatever decision he made, he had to make the best decision for him, and clearly he did that. So that's where it sits.
Well, Nick, appreciate your time. Good luck next week against the Pies, and have a good day tomorrow. 3AW footy, Carlton Adelaide, and joining Lee Matthews. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.